Hello, it is Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Tuesday puzzle today, so should be a nice, relatively gentle, early week themed puzzle, and this, hopefully relatively gentle edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Tom Nemchek, Alan Blunder, Mitchell Turek, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Schulmaster. Thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support in sustaining this channel. I really do appreciate it, as I appreciate the contributions of everybody who has become a patron of the channel. I really do. I really am thankful for that. It keeps this whole thing going. If you'd like to directly contribute yourself, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field. And you'll get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. And that that includes this week several Bosswords Spring Themeless League competition puzzles. I think another one is scheduled to go up today, and then again in 2 days time. So look forward to those if you're a patron. And thank you for your contribution. Do also subscribe to the channel if you've not gotten around to that, and you can also join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in a link in the description field as well. So let's get on to today's puzzle. This is a collaboration by Andrea Carla Michaels, I apologize, who's constructed over 80 puzzles for the New York Times, and Christina Iverson, somewhere north of a dozen. So two experienced constructors, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving, shall we? We'll have a theme in store for us today. We don't yet know what it is, of course. Animal house. A sty, maybe? Not sure. By the blank early light, by the dawn's early light from the U.S. national anthem. Interior design could be decor, maybe? Is it as simple as that? Yes, a quick swim could be referred to as a dip. I'm going for a dip, a quick swim. Creepy movie doppelganger. I'm not sure offhand. I wonder if this is a specific character or a category of creature. I'm not sure which. Snug as a bug in a rug. You're cozy if you're snug as a bug in a rug. Pasta, also called Russoni. It must be orzo, the tiny, tiny little pasta. Actor Gosling or Reynolds. Ryan Gosling or Ryan Reynolds. And you might think, well, why isn't this a plural? It's because there's an or rather than an and in the clue, so we're only referring to either Ryan Gosling or Ryan Reynolds, just one of them. Word before coast or tower, so it could refer to Ivory Coast, the country, or the Ivory Tower, the sort of metaphor for academia. This looks like pizza. 1988 rom-com set in a New England restaurant. This is sort of vaguely ringing a bell, but I can't think what it is. Is it Mystic Pizza? That's sort of, I've never seen that, but it's sort of that's a movie name I've seen. I would have guessed it was the 90s. Based on nothing. I don't know why. Ultimatums. Also, this was being highlighted by this. Let's take a look at that. Sometimes people like it when I do that. 1972 thriller set in the backwoods of Georgia. Is that Deliverance? Or a plot point in Pizza Delivery. Okay. So we have one film name being used as, referencing a plot point in several other films. That's very good. So Deliverance, that I have seen. 1972 thriller set in the backwoods of Georgia. I always wondered what Mystic Pizza meant. It must be the name of the pizzeria. I never actually knew that. Anyway. Filmmaker Ethan or Joel, the Coen brothers, so again, or either one of them is a Coen. Evening informally could be night, often in a commercial context as well. Ultimatums are demands. I think I was about to put that in before I got distracted by the theme. Sedaris of Strangers with Candy, Amy Sedaris. Something used to be was that way. It may have an attachment for you. An email may have an attachment. And to give someone the cold shoulder, say you... why do I not see what that is? Sense of self. One's sense of self is one's ego. I see. Say, right. So to give the cold shoulder doesn't mean to slight, but giving someone the cold shoulder is an example of a slight, which is what this say is doing here. So it's saying, give the cold shoulder, say. If you slight someone, oh yeah, sure, you're giving them the cold shoulder. It's an example of that thing. So that's what's going on with that say. Wait, could be heft and creepy movie doppelganger. What is this? It'll seem so obvious when I eventually get it through crosses. French city near Grenoble could be Lyon, I assume. Evil twin. Okay, it is even broader than what I was thinking. It's not a specific type of creature, nor is it one specific character. It's kind of a character archetype, an evil twin. All right, there we go. Oh, here we go. 1987 film set in a Washington, D.C. TV station. Well, something news, broadcast news. There we go. Okay. I've never seen that. I know people who are really into that film. I have not seen it. Few and far between. You might describe something that way. Band on the Run band. That was Paul McCartney's band Wings post-Beatles. They're made by doing jumping jacks lying down. Snow angels, right, okay. I don't know that I ever heard them described as jumping jacks, but of course that's basically what they are. To make a snow angel. Nolo contendere is a court plea, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get this wrong. I think it basically means not fit to stand trial due to your mental state, but apologies if that's incorrect. You can let me know in the comments. Silver-tongued. If you're silver-tongued, you're sort of glib, maybe. You have a kind of facility with words that you're deploying for an ulterior motive in a way, I guess. Hit the jackpot is to win. PlayStation maker is Sony, the Electronics Corporation. 1968 horror film set in a Rosemary... Sorry, I started already saying what the name of the film was because I recognized it immediately. But 1968 horror film set in a New York City apartment is, of course, Rosemary's Baby. A great horror film. Sort of, I guess it's this horror film. It's almost sort of a thriller or something as much as it is a horror film, because so much of it is just the tension without really understanding what's going on until you do. Anyway, a swampy area is a bog. Rockstar John, I'm not sure offhand. Frozen waffles since the 1950s are Eggo brand waffles. Kind of exam could be an oral exam, like the Beatles' Sadie, Sexy Sadie, the Beatles song. Left Coast Airport for short, LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. And if you're furtive and crafty, you could be said to be sly. Prizes highly. If you prize something highly, you esteem it. So prizes highly esteems. Figure of speech could be an idiom, so something that sort of a figure of speech that only really makes sense if you kind of have a fluent grasp of the language and therefore recognize the phrase unto itself. .follower.com. Zippo could be nil, as in nothing. Nada, Zippo, 0. Pacifies. If she pacifies somebody, she calms him. And a bit of baby talk is dada. You could pacify a baby, in fact, with the baby's dada, maybe. All right, decimal measuring system, metric. So decimal because it's all based on multiples of 10. It'd be my pleasure, you could say to somebody. That's sort of an idiom, I suppose. It'd be my pleasure, I guess. Great Lake that sounds like a synonym for spooky, eerie, much like the film Rosemary's Baby. Opposite of well done. When it comes to meat, the opposite of well done is rare. It's cooked less. And an air marshal's organization could be the TSA, I guess? Is that air marshal? Are they associated with the TSA, air marshals? I guess so. Transport Security Agency or Administration. Rockstar John. Why do I not see what this is? I don't know. Small opening in the skin, pore. Our skin is filled with pores, of course, or riddled with pores. Until next time in a text could be TTYL. Talk to you later. Oh, Elton John, right. I'm sure as designed, I was trying to imagine a surname for John, but nope, it is his given name. Well, his stage name anyway, Elton John. I don't think that was his given name. Middle C for one is a note, a musical note. And a dry heat bath is a sauna. Oops. To spew forth, as in a volcano, for instance, could be to erupt, or metaphorically, a person could erupt. An animal house is Oh, this one's not a sty. Didn't we have Animal House somewhere else? We did. It was the very first clue, and it also has a question mark. That's funny. So it's not going to be sty, I guess, because you wouldn't really need a question mark pun indicator for that. It's interesting. Let's see. Post-run feeling after a long run, you might ache. And Disturbia actor Shia LaBeouf. Quite a few film references in this puzzle because obviously the theme is film related, but then we also had someone else. We had Amy Poehler, yeah, and I think maybe at least one other film clue. I know Elton John's been in films, I guess. In any case, last tournament match could be the final of the tournament. And what about this? Animal house lair. Oh, sure, an animal's lair, an animal's house, I suppose. Animal house. Okay, that's only very lightly a pun. It's not much of a stretch to call an animal's house a lair. Mamma mia, you might declare in exasperation. And cookie shop attraction. What does that mean? Oh, aroma, right. So you could be attracted into a cookie shop through the pleasant aroma, by way of the pleasant aroma. To make yawn is to bore somebody. And a train track part is a rail of one of the rails of the track. A rower would need an oar to propel the boat. To relieves as of a burden is rids of a burden. Rid me of this burden, relieve me of this burden. That's plausible. What about this? Not working, out of order. If a machine, say, is not working, it's out of order. And to vote somebody into office is to elect them. Zodiac creature, a scorpion is one of the zodiac creatures. Fast in a memo, ASAP, do it immediately, as soon as possible. Okay, if she tacks something on, she adds it to a list, for instance. To leak slowly could be to seep. Air could seep out of a tire, for instance. And Daniel, who wrote Robinson Crusoe, was the author Daniel Defoe. Oops. That's been made into films, I guess. I'm trying to really stretch the theme. That's not thematic, of course. Italian sports car for short could be an Alfa Romeo. That is an Italian make of sports car. Shapewear brand, I think largely marketed to women, is Spanx. And to annoy and baffle is to vex somebody. All right, there we go. So now it just remains to, oh, look, Omar Sharif, another film actor. I think this must have been intentional. I mean, Omar Sharif, Shia LaBeouf, Amy Poehler. No, sorry, it wasn't Amy Poehler. It's Amy Sedaris. I apologize for misquoting that earlier. Two comic actors, I guess. In any case, clearly intentional, not part of the theme, but I assume, and then, of course, Ryan Gosling or Reynolds, there we go. Oh, and the filmmaker Ethan or Joel. So sort of subsidiary thematic clues. They're kind of sub-theme. They're not actually related to the theme of Deliverance, but they are related to film in general. So it's a nice little touch. It gives the puzzle even more of a sense of identity. Animal house, a zoo. Okay, there we go. That's even broader than lair, I think, justifying the pun indicator there. And a feathered Australian could be an emu. A body image of a sort could be a tattoo, an image on your body of a sort, as opposed to body image in the way that we'd ordinarily understand that phrase. Greek letter that sounds like it should be last, but isn't, is zeta. I think it's been clued in that, essentially that same way before. So, there we go. That was a nice, simple Tuesday crossword, and I suppose made simpler if you understand, well, not understand, if you're aware of the film references and the various actors being clued. I think for the most part, these were relatively major figures in film, so not hugely challenging in that respect. Omar Sharif, who, I remember when I was young, I only knew Omar Sharif because he was a notable bridge player, and so he would, in magazines, you'd see him advertising sort of bridge cassette tapes and things, I guess, where he would teach you how to play bridge. And I didn't even know he was an actor. I only knew him as this sort of bridge expert person. And it wasn't until I was older and saw him in things like Lawrence of Arabia, which is, truly great film, that I realized, oh, this person's a great actor and not just a bridge player. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. Let's look over the theme. We have our theme of deliverance. This is very clever, using one film to refer to the plots of 3 other films. So the 1972 thriller set in the backwoods of Georgia is Deliverance, which is a plot point in Mystic Pizza, Broadcast News, and Rosemary's Baby. In Mystic Pizza, presumably a pizza being delivered. In Rosemary's Baby, a baby being, the titular baby, of course, being delivered. And in Broadcast News, presumably that means they're delivering the news. But it might be something else. I don't know. Maybe a package is delivered. I don't know. In any case, a very clever theme by Andrea Carla-Michaels and Christina Iverson. And I liked all the other little nods to film scattered throughout the puzzle. That was a nice additional touch. And that's that for today's video, actually, because I didn't see any comments I didn't see any sort of necessary corrections from yesterday's puzzle. So we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining me for the Tuesday edition of the Daily Solve. I'll be back tomorrow for the Wednesday, midweek, mid-difficulty edition of the puzzle. Maybe a little bit of a step up in difficulty. Do join me for that. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Tuesday. Take care.